Canelo Alvarez stepped back into the ring for another fantastic fight, Cinco de Mayo weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada, picking up a unanimous decision victory in what was, again, a fantastic fight. Munguia put the pressure on Canelo early, and you knew that that was Canelo just downloading the information, figuring out what he has to do. Bit of a slow starter, but he is going to come out and figure out what he needs. And then he lands a devastating shot that ends up dropping Munguia, and it changes the fight right there. And that is when you could see Canelo started to figure things out. And Munguia was bringing it, right? Like this wasn't just like Canelo walking through. Like Munguia had Canelo in trouble a number of different times, and I think he did a whole lot better than the commentary. We got, where I was watching it, we got the DAZN commentary. I know Jim Gray threw to Mauro Ranallo a couple of times, so I'm assuming there was different commentary on different outlets. We got the DAZN commentary, and I think they had a bit of a rough night personally. I haven't totally been a fan of the DAZN presentation just in general. I just love that they put on awesome fights, but it was talking like it was a one-sided beatdown. I thought Munguia was great, and I thought he was winning rounds even down to the end, where that knockdown becomes a really important factor of this fight. But two things really changed this fight. A, Canelo's use of the jab. I thought really, like it, I still want him to use more, and that is a weapon of his that has kind of gone away as the career has gone on. But that was a weapon for him that I thought really started to establish him in this fight. And he started to use that once he started to get that ball rolling. And I don't think that's a coincidence. The other was the big body shots that just, he was able to make Munguia pay in a way that Munguia, I don't know if he just didn't see coming or wasn't anticipating, but god damn did it seem like those hurt a lot. And that was able to kind of slow Munguia down and take some of the zip and some of the life out of those punches and allow Canelo to start to implement his game plan. The counter punching was there for Canelo, like we had talked about. It really did feel like a vintage Saul performance in Las Vegas. And I think this is massive for Canelo. I think it is massive for the sport. And because I think this now gives Canelo a couple fights to build off of. Like, we had a couple duds in there from Canelo. We talked about it throughout the week. Like, there was some time where people were like, okay, the Canelo thing is done. Like, it's not done. He's always going to be a draw. But let's start focusing on some of the other guys in the sport. And Canelo with the last fight against Charlo, and now this one, just reminded everyone, he isn't just like some washed dude who is just like grasping on to relevancy. This is legitimately the face of boxing and one of the best fighters in the world. And how he was able to figure out the puzzle of Munguia and come away with a tremendous victory was the stuff that only the best can really do. And Munguia said it after, and I believe him 100%. Munguia fights that way against anyone else in the world, and he wins this fight. There is no doubt in my mind. Munguia just happened to be the second best boxer on the planet on May 4th, and he was just stuck in there with the best. And that is an unfortunate spot, but I think he is really going to learn a lot from this. And you think about what this weekend did. This was a really fun action fight, so the stock is going to rise just from that. He felt like a star all weekend. Those crowd reactions at times were 50-50, if not leaning more towards his side. So he comes out of this weekend feeling like a big deal, feeling like he can be a legitimate headliner in this sport. And that is an amazing place for him to be, because he deserves it. He is an amazing action fighter. He can bring the power. He can throw that volume. He doesn't really wear down. He did seem like he was the more wore down of the two by the end, but the cardio is still insane for the output and the power that he is able to throw with. But as that fight goes on, Canelo gets stronger. And now I think you have to go Mexican versus Mexican again. I think you have to go Benavidez, Mexican Independence Day weekend in September. But yeah, just a really, really, really fun fight.